To be honest with you, when we first got the schedule together and everybody started planning, I had no idea. David Scott, come on up. But we had no idea the number of, or the support from all the vendors that were going to just dump stuff on us, which is wonderful. I don't mean that badly. I mean, that is wonderful. And in fact, if you saw the video about the door prizes, vendors here have given door prizes we didn't have on the video. So, you know, but we're going to have to find time to do that. Now, one thing about that is that you got to be here to get with your numbers, because there's just no way to keep track of it. So, but anyway, we're going to take a few minutes and just, if you have some questions, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of open it up. We're going to see it. I may try to get the microphone to you. I may not if we can hear. So, somebody have a question? Any of these guys on the segments? Yes, in the back.
If you're 5 miles back in the woods and you get rattlesnake bit, should you put a tourniquet on it? And my number one question is, should you cut yourself?
Yes, apply the tourniquet to it. Okay, there's some controversy talking back and forth about that, whether we should or should not. I would say yes, tie the tourniquet to it. Do not cut yourself. Do not suck the poison out. Do not do anything like that. Because by the time the venom is into your bloodstream, there's no way you can get it out. So if you cut yourself, you're just going to expose yourself to more and more infection. So no, do not do that. But yes, there is apply the tourniquet. There is some controversy about doing the ice packs too, if you have some ice too. But yes, apply the tourniquet.
Got it back here, Rich. We got a microphone we're going to try to get to.
Somebody has a couple of hand dug maybe on board. Is there any legal requirements? Any legal requirements for someone to start using those wells again if they haven't been used for a while? And where can one get testing done on that may not necessarily have to go through the county?
The water testing can be done locally. There's extensions. We have Clemson Extension. You can go contact DHEC and they can test your water. As using an existing bored well, is that what you're asking? Can you use that? I believe you can. That's a simple call if you're willing to. A lot of people don't want to. Have somebody else call about it. But just to see if you can use that well. I mean, I would use it. I mean, I have a bored well that I've been using for 10 years. The hand dug well, yes, and that's what I showed. There are you can legally drill your own well, and in South Carolina.
Hand dug well where the guy got in and dug it out by hand. That's
not a problem. That's a bored well as long as it's grouted correctly. The main thing on the shallow wells is the grout. The technical issue that I went back and forth with them on is you don't want, and it's good for you to do anyway, you do not want your surface water running into your water supply. And so the grouting seals off your well so that it runs away. And it's just smart to do that on any of your hand dug wells. And so that was the only technical hurdle that we had to get over was the annular space around the concrete or whatever you're using to case that bored well with. And it needs to be 1.5 inches at, I won't bore you with detail. The regulations, I have some out on our table, and you can read them, but it's legal to do that in South Carolina. A lot of people didn't think it was. So, thanks.
Butch? Oh, okay, right up here. Right up here anymore. Come back here.
If I'm correct, the drop, the distance you're pumping is twice what the drop needs to be in order for the ram pump to operate? Or is that backwards? Well, I'm sorry, mainly my question is, how will this work for someone who lives on, say, closer to the coast on flat land? Will not at all? So,
and again, you use things that work in your area, whether it's fuel or water or pumping. You live in Pickens County, it works well. Because you have elevation. You have to have elevation to run the rain. You have to have falling water. And I say a minimum, if you don't have 5 foot of water falling, don't even venture. There are some that will work that are more efficient, but if you can't get 5 feet of water falling from a creek, a stream, or a river, then don't bother the ramp. But if you can, they will pump 10 times higher
gallon of water, for every 8 gallons of water that comes down that pipe that you saw in that picture, you only can pump 1. It's an 8-to-1 ratio roughly on a hydraulic ram pump. But it's beautiful. It's the tortoise and the hare. It's 24/7 clicking away. But you gotta have 5 foot minimum of fall, and you need to have a decent, you size your pump to the amount of water also at that fall. So there's some empirical formulas that have been worked on for 215 years since the pump's been out. And and I'd be happy to help you with that. I got a couple of videos on YouTube that go through the gory details of the numbers and how to spec one out.
Something I forgot real quick. We have a white GMC pickup with the lights on, South Carolina BMF 477. If you have a white pickup GMC, your lights are on. Okay, Butch, you go.
For an engineer, did you drive here today in your wood gas truck, and will there be a demonstration later?
You saw the condition of that truck. It wasn't really, it's not roadworthy yet. That's the one I found in the woods, but I drive it around the farm on wood. I couldn't find it. I couldn't afford a truck that could drive here, so I put all the money in the gasifier.
Could you address quick clot on like gunshot wounds or gaping wounds?
I don't remember, there's an old quick clot that they come out with several years ago, and there's the new generation of quick clot. The old generation they've kind of gotten away with because it was causing like 3rd-degree burns inside the wound. It was very, very painful, so they've kind of gotten away with that. The new quick clot, and I don't remember the name of it, but it's a new generation of it. It works absolutely wonderful. We're packing wounds with it for the SWAT team and stuff like that. So,
Which is better, the gauze or just the granule?
we're using the gauze that's got the granules attached into it. That way, if you need to pack the wound, you can pack it, or you can just put it on the outside. But that's what we're using.
There was one over here earlier, not back here, Butch.
With everything that's going on the internet about this nuclear plume and the fallout and whatnot, I've heard people should be aware of milk and this and that and the other, but I have a very bold spring. I have a spring up in the mountains of North Carolina, puts out about 5-6 gallons a minute. Do I have to be concerned about, and it's all underground, except for my reservoir, do I have to be concerned about infiltration or anything like that?
That's a good question. You have to be able to trust what the facts are coming out from our own government. There are reports of, yes, it's very elevated levels in certain areas. They have just, I read yesterday, they're going to change some of those levels to bring them up to make it not sound so bad inside the United States. But I don't think you're going to have to be concerned about that. If more than one of those facilities had a complete meltdown, maybe we would. But we're so far away and it's dissipating in the atmosphere. I think we are okay.
Can I use impacted charcoal filtration, murky black filters, sand? I mean, is there any way I can filter that?
That is beyond my pay grade. Sorry.
It's a good question. We've designed a radiation filter. No, I'm just kidding. That's where it goes back to redundancies, because the people in Japan are probably the most prepared people in the world. And most that's not published, but they prepare for emergencies as a culture. That's why they don't freak out like Americans do. Store water in a place where the radiation. That's the other thing. You say, okay, your spring's contaminated. I do not have a backup. Have multiple ways of having water. And, you know, if worst case scenario, nuclear plant in this country, and your spring is contaminated, but you've stored water back where that cannot, you know, it's just redundancy. Have another system for storing water, because that spring could be ruined.
Butch, right there.
This is really not a question, it's just on the cannery that you were talking about earlier. I actually talked to the people at the cannery yesterday, the one that's in Georgia, I think it's Norcross, Georgia. And they actually told me they are no longer allowing anyone that's not Mormon or has a friend who's a Mormon to come and can, unless you already have the appointment and they are allowing those people to come. But they've also put a limit on what you can now get from them.
Totally correct. Luckily, I have an appointment at the cannery next week. It'll probably be my last appointment. So yes, so that door is being closed. It might reopen 6 months from now, when the Mormon Church has built up their supplies. That they probably will open it back up to non-Mormons.
This is for the medic. Things like penicillin, amoxicillin, you usually got to have a prescription to get. I was wondering, can you still get like the old sulfa drugs?
I do not know the answer to that, honestly. I could BS you, but I can't. If you'll see me, give me your email address, and I can look up your information and talk to some people that maybe I know. Or he's got a
Scott's wife is a pharmacist. She's right at this table, and maybe you drop by and talk to her. I will address one little thing that we've been doing, and I talked about this down at the East Coast Patriot, is colloidal silver. And for those of you who know colloidal silver, there's a lot of, the one thing about colloidal silver, because it's been used up until even during World War I, they were treating wounds with colloidal silver. And of course, that's when regular modern antibiotics took over. The FDA says you can't say that it can do anything. But we've been using it for 20 years, and I'm telling you, it's a great a source to help with different things. In fact, I have a video that I've had already together about how to make it, and I haven't posted it just because I'm too lazy, maybe, I don't know. But I'll be posting that up. So if you want to see, it's a real simple process, to be honest with you. Okay, we've got more mics going. Chase.
You was asking about antibiotics. EntirelyPants.com. You can get fish mox, ampicillin, any of that stuff. I've checked it out with both my family physician and my veterinarian. If they don't retool these factories when they're making antibiotics, it comes down the assembly line, goes off this way to make, and is labeled for animal, that way for humans. It's the same stuff. Go to Tractor Supply and get penicillin G. Next aisle, get a bag of syringes. You're good to hook for $9, $10, $12, and it's the exact same stuff. EntirelyPants.com.
We'll get you next. Go ahead, Butch, and then Chase.
Okay, this for Southern Prepper 1. Chase. Like you, I've been prepping probably since Y2K-ish, before it was a fad. But I put away stuff and have the means to protect it. I've even been networking with my friends in my area. But I want to know what your mindset is on dealing with the pure volume of people that aren't prepping. What do you think you're going to be able to deal with just the mass of people who don't even worry about it?
A good question. Really, we won't know until something happens. That's why meetings like this is so important, because the more people that are prepared, the better. But yes, there's probably 90% of Americans, they probably care more about the football game or the hockey game or whatever's on TV than prepping. So basically just building networks, because the more you get your community involved, the safer you will be. If you can get your local sheriff on board, it might not be prepping, it might be search and rescue, it might be anything that can go that way. People will get on board. We're not dumb in this country. As things develop, the average person is going to say, hey, there is something wrong. They're just going to take longer to wake up. So just keep doing what we're doing, and that's the only answer.
Hey, you talked about putting your sealed Mylar bags in the pails. Can you put them in the large Tupperware containers and tubs?
Yes.
And,
Great question. You can put it anywhere where you know mice, moisture, you won't be able to tear it. Just put it anywhere. Any container will work.